Have you ever understood every word in a conversation, but still felt confused by what someone actually meant? That is because English is not only about vocabulary. Native speakers use idioms every day to express confidence, emotions, success, and important decisions naturally. If you do not understand these expressions, conversations can feel confusing. In this lesson, you will learn 5 powerful idioms that will help you sound more natural, understand real English with confidence, and communicate more effectively in everyday situations. Today, you are going to learn 5 everyday English idioms that native speakers use in conversations at work, with friends, and in daily life. You will discover what each idiom means, when to use it, and how to avoid common mistakes. At the end of the lesson, you will watch a natural conversation that brings all 5 idioms together, helping you remember them and use them confidently in your own English conversations. Idiom 1. Hit the nail on the head. Have you ever listened to someone explain a problem so clearly that everyone immediately agreed? That is exactly when native English speakers often say, "You hit the nail on the head." This idiom means that someone has described a situation or identified a problem with complete accuracy. It is used when a person says exactly what everyone else is thinking or finds the real reason behind something. The expression does not have anything to do with nails or hammers. Instead, it paints the picture of striking the head of a nail perfectly with one hit, showing precision and accuracy. Native English speakers use this idiom in business meetings, classrooms, family discussions, interviews, and everyday conversations. Imagine a team trying to understand why a project failed. Everyone offers different opinions until one person says, "We did not spend enough time planning before we started." Another team member might immediately respond, "You hit the nail on the head." This response means that the speaker has identified the real cause of the problem. Here is another example. Sarah and Daniel are discussing why their presentation was not successful. Sarah says, "I think we focused more on the slides than on explaining our ideas clearly." Daniel replies, "You hit the nail on the head. That was exactly our biggest mistake." Notice how the idiom makes the conversation sound natural and confident. Instead of simply saying, "You are right," the speaker expresses stronger agreement because the explanation is precise and meaningful. Many English learners make one common mistake with this idiom. They use it whenever someone gives any correct answer. However, the idiom is usually reserved for moments when someone identifies the exact reason behind a problem or makes an observation that perfectly matches the situation. It is stronger than simply saying, "That is correct." It tells the listener that they have understood the heart of the issue. A simple way to remember this idiom is to think about accuracy. Whenever someone explains something so well that there is nothing important left to add, they have hit the nail on the head. Listen for opportunities to use it during discussions with friends, coworkers, or classmates. The more you hear it in real conversations and practice using it yourself, the more natural it will become. Mastering idioms like this helps your English sound confident, fluent, and closer to the way native speakers communicate every day. Idiom 2. Learn the ropes. Starting a new job, joining a new team, or trying a new activity can feel exciting, but it can also feel confusing. There are new rules, new responsibilities, and new ways of doing things. During this stage, native English speakers often use the idiom, "learn the ropes." This expression means to learn the basics of a new job, skill, activity, or environment before becoming confident and independent. It reminds us that every expert was once a beginner, and learning takes time. The origin of this idiom comes from the sailing world. New sailors had to understand how to use the many ropes on a ship to control the sails and keep the vessel moving safely. Learning which rope to use and when to use it was one of the first skills every sailor needed. Over time, the expression became a popular idiom that describes learning the essential parts of any new role or task. Today, native English speakers use it in many different situations, even when nothing is related to ships. For example, imagine Emma has just started working at a marketing company. During her first week, she is meeting her coworkers, learning the computer systems, and understanding the company's daily routine. Her manager says, "Take your time. You are still learning the ropes." This does not mean Emma is doing a poor job. It simply means she is in the early stage of learning and is expected to become more confident with experience. Here is another everyday example. Michael joins a local photography club because he wants to improve his skills. After attending a few meetings, he still has many questions about the equipment and different techniques. One experienced member smiles and says, "Don't worry. It takes a little time to learn the ropes." This response encourages Michael to keep learning instead of expecting immediate success. Many English learners make the mistake of using this idiom when talking about studying facts or memorizing information. However, "learn the ropes" is usually used when someone is becoming familiar with a new role, workplace, system, or practical activity. It focuses on gaining experience through practice rather than simply reading or listening. A useful way to remember this idiom is to connect it with every new beginning in life. Whenever you start a new job, join a new organization, volunteer for a project, or develop a new skill, you are learning the ropes. Using this idiom naturally shows patience, growth, and progress. It also reminds you that becoming confident is a journey, and every small step brings you closer to success. Idiom 3. Keep your chin up. Life does not always go as planned. Sometimes you miss an opportunity, receive disappointing news, or face challenges that test your confidence. During moments like these, native English speakers often say, "Keep your chin up." This idiom is a warm and encouraging way to tell someone not to lose hope. It means to stay positive, remain confident, and continue moving forward even when life feels difficult. Rather than focusing on the problem, it encourages people to believe that better days are ahead. The expression comes from body language. When people feel discouraged, they often lower their heads and avoid eye contact. In contrast, raising your chin suggests confidence, strength, and determination. Although the idiom is not meant to be taken literally, it creates a powerful image of facing challenges with courage instead of giving up. That is why it is commonly used to comfort friends, family members, coworkers, and classmates during difficult times. Imagine that Olivia has been preparing for an important job interview. She works hard, performs well during the interview, but later learns that another candidate was selected. She feels disappointed and begins to question her abilities. Her friend says, "Keep your chin up. Another opportunity will come, and your hard work will pay off." These words do not erase the disappointment, but they offer encouragement and remind Olivia that one setback does not define her future. Here is another everyday example. Aiton has been studying for a challenging examination. When he receives his results, they are not as strong as he expected. His teacher says, Keep your chin up. This is only one result, and you have learned valuable lessons for the next challenge. Instead of criticizing him, the teacher motivates him to continue improving with confidence. A common mistake English learners make is using this idiom when giving congratulations. However, keep your chin up is only appropriate when someone is experiencing disappointment, stress, or difficulty. It is an expression of support, not celebration. It also sounds more caring than simply saying, "Don't worry," because it recognizes the person's feelings while encouraging resilience. A simple way to remember this idiom is to connect it with hope. Whenever someone feels discouraged or faces an unexpected setback, keep your chin up is a kind reminder that challenges are temporary and perseverance leads to growth. By using this idiom naturally, you will sound more supportive and compassionate in English conversations. It is a small expression with a powerful message that inspires confidence, strengthens relationships, and encourages people to keep believing in themselves through difficult times. Idiom 4. On cloud 9. Have you ever achieved something you worked hard for and felt so happy that it seemed like nothing could ruin your day? That is exactly the feeling behind the idiom, on cloud 9. Native English speakers use this expression to describe someone who is extremely happy, excited, or delighted. It is stronger than simply saying, "I'm happy." It tells the listener that a person is experiencing a level of joy that feels unforgettable. No one knows the exact origin of this idiom, but over the years it has become one of the most common ways to describe great happiness in everyday English. When people say they are on cloud 9, they do not mean they are actually sitting on a cloud. Instead, they are expressing that they feel as if they are floating because of their excitement. You will hear this idiom in conversations about personal achievements, celebrations, good news, and memorable life events. Imagine that Sophia has been working for months to earn a promotion at her company. One morning, her manager announces that she has been selected for the new position. After sharing the news with her family, her brother says, "You must be on cloud 9." This response shows that he understands how excited and proud she feels after reaching an important goal. Here is another example. Rukas has been preparing for a marathon for nearly a year. On race day, he successfully crosses the finish line and achieves the time he hoped for. When his friends congratulate him, one of them says, "You look like you are on cloud 9." The idiom perfectly describes the joy and satisfaction that comes from accomplishing something meaningful after months of dedication. Many English learners make the mistake of using on cloud 9 to describe someone who is calm or simply having a pleasant day. However, this idiom is used for moments of exceptional happiness, such as receiving wonderful news, reaching an important milestone, or experiencing something truly exciting. Using it for ordinary situations may sound exaggerated to native English speakers. A helpful way to remember this idiom is to connect it with life's biggest celebrations. Think about graduating from university, getting your dream job, welcoming a new family member, winning a competition, or achieving a personal goal. These are the moments when people often feel on cloud 9. Learning to use this idiom naturally will make your English sound more expressive and engaging. It allows you to describe happiness with greater emotion and helps your conversations reflect the warmth and enthusiasm that native English speakers use every day. Idiom 5. Cut corners. Everyone wants to save time, reduce effort, or finish a task more quickly. However, there is an important difference between working efficiently and lowering the quality of your work. This is where the idiom, cut corners, becomes useful. Native English speakers use this expression to describe someone who takes shortcuts by skipping important steps, usually to save time, money, or effort. The result is often lower quality, greater risk, or avoidable mistakes. This idiom usually has a negative meaning because it suggests sacrificing quality for convenience. The idea behind this idiom comes from taking the shortest possible route instead of following the proper path. Imagine someone literally cutting across the corner of a road rather than staying on the correct route. Over time, the expression came to describe people who ignore necessary steps in order to finish something faster. Today, it is commonly used in workplaces, schools, businesses, and everyday conversations whenever quality is reduced because someone chooses the easier option. For example, imagine a construction company is building a new office. One supervisor notices that cheaper materials are being used instead of the ones required for safety. He says, "We cannot cut corners on this project. People's safety depends on the quality of our work." In this situation, the idiom emphasizes that skipping important standards could create serious problems in the future. Here is another everyday example. Mia is preparing a presentation for an important client meeting. Instead of checking her facts and reviewing her slides, she rushes to finish at the last minute. During the presentation, several mistakes appear, and the client notices them immediately. After the meeting, her manager says, "Next time, don't cut corners." Careful preparation always makes a difference. The message is clear that rushing and ignoring important details often leads to disappointing results. A common mistake English learners make is using cut corners to describe working quickly. However, working efficiently is not the same as cutting corners. If you complete a task quickly while maintaining high quality, you are simply being productive. The idiom should only be used when important steps are skipped and the quality or safety of the work is affected. A simple way to remember this idiom is to think about responsibility. Whether you are studying for an examination, completing a work project, learning a new skill, or helping someone, lasting success comes from doing the job properly. Cutting corners may seem like a good idea in the moment, but it often creates bigger problems later. Using this idiom naturally will help you discuss responsibility, quality, and good decision-making with confidence in everyday English conversations. Great work! Today, you learned 5 everyday idioms that native English speakers use to express confidence, encouragement, happiness, good judgment, and responsibility. More importantly, you discovered when to use each idiom naturally and how to avoid common mistakes. Remember, idioms become part of your English only through regular practice and real conversations. Listen for these expressions, use them whenever the opportunity arises, and before long, they will become a natural part of the way you communicate in English. If this video helped you improve your English, please give it a like. Share it with someone who wants to speak English more naturally and confidently. In the comments, tell us which idiom you will start using in your conversations today. Subscribe to English Story Journey for more practical English lessons. Press the bell icon so you never miss a new video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.